if you can see here, there's a whole new theme that we've embraced since ASAE annual last year. So it's been well, 9 months, six months or so since we've embraced this theme. And this theme really goes back to the early days in 2016 when Cameron and I started PropFuel. It goes back to this sentiment that software has been digitized and turned into this thing that is almost like there's this perception that it's designed to replace people and replace human interaction. In fact, we believe quite the opposite, that software and AI should be enhancing the human experience. Software and AI should be doing what machines do well and open windows of opportunity for people to do what people do. And that kind of brings me back to the day when you got your gas pumped for you and the service team would come out and wash your windshields. This was a time of service. Not to say I want to live back in that era, but I do want to incorporate the human elements from that era into the software company that we've created. It's Prop Fuel Drop. Thank you. I'm gonna have to go through all these later. Prop Fuel Ignite, Flash Think. All right. That's now we're gonna jump into some things. The next few slides. There I am. That's my little AI avatar, my AI thing. Show of hands, does that look like me or does it not look like me? My partner thinks it makes me look 15 years older. Um, Put in the chat as well. As you can see, I really like the chat stuff. I really like your participation. What's the biggest pain point when it comes to winning back lapsed members? What do you think is your biggest hurdle? What gets in the way of winning back lapsed members? A little bit about us. We've got 285 clients right now. Started this thing in 2016. Took us a little while to figure out who we were. This is just a sampling of our clients. These are here for no reason other than I think their logos were quickly available to us. We've got over 5 million members engaged, and what this means is something that I don't think we emphasize enough. If you're here, you probably don't need to see this. It's the people that aren't here. Just like when you're dealing with your members, it's the members that are difficult to get through. Your engaged members don't, it's not hard to draw them in. It's the ones that aren't engaged that are more difficult to draw in. So I want you to be aware of at least the things that we're doing to where we bring together those 285 clients and utilize our experience in working with all of them. This webinar is a good example of that. That's number 7 here, live and on-demand content. We utilize a lot of the stuff that we learn from working with you guys, and we want to bring it and show it to you guys. We have these monthly client roundtables. Uh, every month it's a different roundtable. We try to get uh, our clients, you guys, talking as much as we can. These have become just absolutely awesome. Next week, we're doing a roundtable on events, all about marketing and promoting events and sparking conversation to drive registrations and so on. If you would like to attend, I don't want to put the link here. That's because it's only open to clients. If you are a prospect, I'm sorry, you cannot participate in that, but clients can. So I would, if you're interested, reach out to your client success manager. If you don't know who they are, send me an email, dave@propfuel.com. Your client success manager will get you added to that roundtable. Membership Masterminds is a group we created. It's a little more removed from PropFuel. It's more about membership issues in general. You can join that in the LinkedIn group. Just search for Membership Masterminds in LinkedIn, or go to membershipmasterminds.com and you can sign up there. Client success, please lean on our client success team. They're very, very busy, but they also very much like working with you and making suggestions and helping you with your campaigns. If you're not using our AI blueprints, please take advantage of those. This will save you a ton of time. You do not need to create campaigns. You can use these blueprints to begin the process, looking back on best practices and utilizing AI to populate the content with your association's specific membership information and URLs and so on. It's really fascinating. Like it's unbelievable what you can do with the AI blueprints. And we got like 20 of them in there now, maybe more. We have a really strong knowledge base. It's fed by that little icon in the bottom right-hand corner. It's an AI bot that helps direct you to the right resources based on your question. And if it can't figure it out, it just gives you our email and you can email your CSM, client success manager. We've got this Association Strong podcast. If you haven't heard enough of my dad jokes or my voice, go to associationstrong.com and you can check out the podcasts on Spotify and Apple too. All right. I'm going on a little too long. Conversational engagement, ask, capture, act. I'm going to assume you know generally what PropFuel is all about. I do not need to explain that if you're here. Lots of great use cases, but what we're going to focus on today is lapsed member win back. A little bit of renewal stuff, a little bit of well, that's it. It's really mostly focused on lapsed member win back. So here are some of the things we're not going to talk about. Maybe there's some ideas in here for you. We're really focused more on PropFuel campaigns. As my grandma Clarissa used to say, we'll pray for them, you know. So um, here are some things that I'm sure you guys are doing. A lot of this stuff, like calling, emailing them over and over, having individuals, like individual emails, like sending out email to people from your Outlook or something like that. Incredibly inefficient, exhausting. Really shouldn't be doing much of that stuff. All right. Here's some proof of success. If you are here from one of these organizations, feel free to chime in, debunk this if these are not true, but I'm 99.9% sure these are true. We got this data from you. Um, or if you have some stories that you'd like to share in the chat of some success you've seen from, it doesn't have to be winbacks or renewals. I would really like to see the successes. And if there's a story you have to tell, we really, really like to hear them. They keep us going. Like that's the stuff that makes us feel good. AAMFT, one thing they showed me, Amanda over there showed us, was not just the retention, improvement in retention, but the speed at which people renewed was awesome. So PropFuel came in 2020 over there. No, I take it back, 2021. So the data prior to 2020, now this is the speed at which people are renewing. The first month of renewal opportunity is the green. How many people were they getting to renew? Of the people that renewed, what percentage of them were renewing in the first month? And we came in halfway through the renewal cycle in 2021, but the full PropFuel year was 2022. So if you look at the difference between the average of like 18, 19, and 20 to 22, it's about a 20-point difference in terms of the percentages of people that renewed in the first month. That was awesome. I had no idea about this until Amanda sent this to us just to show us what she had discovered. All right. These are the 5 approaches. We're going to go through these very, very quickly. I'm going to scan the chat for just a second. Um, if there are any questions, please pop it in the chat, and I will do my best to keep an eye out for those. I want to go back to some of the hurdles. Here we go. Getting a response. Yep. Time spent pursuing them. No avail. Seems to me, Marie Ruff, it seems to me that attention is the new currency. I'm working on a presentation that highlights how we can draw people's attention in better. And that's what these 5 approaches are all about. It's about capturing their attention, reducing the friction in their in what it takes to get them to respond. Pain point, not having a current email. Ooh, not having current email and getting bounces. That is fascinating. Kelly, yes. Lack of time. What are you doing about that, Kelly? I'd be curious. How do you, if you don't have their emails, like how do they even become a member? I'd be curious about that. Lack of target, and or do their emails change? In other words, maybe it's a benefit to have an alternate email address. Maybe we should be capturing alternate email addresses. If you don't have an alternate email address, that's one point that you should be capturing through PropFuel and writing it back to your AMS. All right. 12:14 Eastern time. So I'm gonna jump back into this. All right, good. Uh, this is an older stat. Don't think too hard about the scientific collection of this. This was a sampling of about, at the time, I think about 20 or 25 clients. This is from a few years ago. About 20 or 25 clients and that did a lapsed member campaign. And this is one of our original campaigns was lapsed member winbacks and renewals, and because it's so effective. And what we discovered is when they asked the question, did you know your membership lapsed? Even at this is I think this was going out to people in their grace periods. So even after like a dozen emails, some organizations are sending a dozen broadcast emails saying, "Hey, your membership is really valuable to you, and here's why we know it's valuable to you." And you list out all the reasons and all the events and stuff. And at the bottom, there's a renew now button. Well, most people ignore those things and like, yeah, I'll do it later because it's a lot of friction. I know I'm gonna have to get approval. I know I have to break up my credit card. I know I have to fill out a form, but uh, sometimes they just don't see it. You know, we're trying to get their attention, and those emails are not breaking through the attention. 53% of people that had let their membership lapse got this email and responded back to this question, yes or no question, super simple, saying, "Oh, I didn't know my membership lapsed." Which I know some of you are rolling your eyes right now because you know, you agree. You've seen this. I know you have. And it's even worse for some organizations. This is the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters, I think. Um, I it's what I would refer to as a recreational. We also have uh, what is it? Modeling AMA, modeling aircraft. Anyway, something like that. Sorry if you're here. I should know that off the top of my head. I was just working on a presentation, including an AMA thing. But um, with recreational organizations, it's even worse than 53%, um, because recreation tends to fall lower on our priority list. But look at this, 74% of the people after the membership had renewed, I mean, lapsed, didn't even know it had lapsed. But here's the good news is we've got their attention now. We know who they are. And we responded, look at that, 924 people. So what happens when they say, no, I didn't know? And what happens is we bring them to a login page and we send them an email. But if they say yes, or actually, here's another thing you can do. So if you haven't investigated the website engagement component of PropFuel now, brand new as of Q4 last year, we rolled it out to 7 or 8 beta clients in November and December, and then we started selling it to everybody in January this year. You can do everything you're doing in PropFuel, you can do it right on your website. And we call it website engagement. It is an add-on. But here's the cool thing. When you're asking a question over email, instead of just showing them a landing page, you can send them directly to your website and say, "Oh, cool, Ryan, this is going to be your 8th year as a member of Rise Up," or that in this case, this is the example we're using, Rise Up. This will be your 8th year as a member of OFAH. Here's what you need to do to get renewed. First, do this, do that, log in, whatever. And here's the thing, we know who they are because we sent them the email. So that information is passed on to the website engagement, and now you know exactly who you're interacting with on that website, even if they haven't logged in. Super, super cool. All right. And of course, if they say yes, I knew, then you say, well, what the heck? Or in a nicer way, can you tell us why you didn't renew your membership? This is the one I love right here. I still plan to renew, or over here, I still plan to renew. There's a lot of answers, by the way. I don't love this many answers, but clearly they got 212 people to answer this way. So a lot of people went from answering that first question in the email to answering the second question on the check-in page. And but look at this, 24% of the people said, "Yeah, I'm still gonna renew." And then of course you just bring them to this page or to this page. All right. So that's the first one is just ask them, "Hey, did you know?" And then you can go on to capture a little more information about what's going on with them. The something else, by the way, goes to an open-ended question. Well, what's going on? How can we help you? So that's where the human element really comes in. Those are the people you probably need to pick up the phone and talk to. I forgot I'm human. Uh, not I forgot I'm human. I forgot, comma, I'm human. I cannot afford the dues. That's interesting. You could always give them a short-term discount if that's on your uh, in your the realm of possibility. Oh, I do not see enough value. Great opportunity to put the membership benefits up there. My value does not. Okay. And then we have this thing, we actually did a roundtable recently called conversion lists. And this is the thing where you get to determine what's important to you about any given campaign. In the case of lapsed member win back, it would be renewals. How many people that were put into this campaign actually renewed their membership based on the AMS data? And so what this is doing, this is looking at AMS data and tracking the people in this campaign and saying, okay, look what we did. We got 907 people out of this campaign to actually renew. Really, really cool. I'm going to take a second and thank you, Academy of Model Aeronautics. What is wrong with me? Thank you, Brittany, for helping me with that. Um, oh, I cannot wait to read through all these comments. Okay, 37% engagement rate. Really, really good response rate for these guys. Next one, would you like to save by rejoining? I don't love, this is just, I don't know. I don't love the, hey, 20% off if you renew now, but it works. Like it does. It works. Like sign up now, we'll give you a cup of coffee, a Starbucks gift card. Like the stuff where you got to give people, we do it too, by the way. Prop Fuel, we give stuff away to get people to do things. We have LinkedIn ads where we'll give people like gift cards. We send out gift boxes to prospects that we want to win over. So like we do it too. It works. I don't love it, but it works. Would you like to save 20% by joining AANP? Something I want you to notice though, and by the way, these things are not going to happen. You don't have to pick and choose one of these things. Oftentimes, when you have lapsed members, it does take a few tries to get them. And even if they say, yes, I want to save big and celebrate, not all of them are actually going to renew right away. So you got to keep hitting them with things. So you could actually, most lapsed member campaigns incorporate multiple questions that we're showing you here. And you can work with your CSM or just implement the blueprint that we have in PropFuel. All right. But I want you to notice in every single one of these, how many people are ready to go. But it also identifies the ones that say no. So 9% of the so like 100, what's that, 170 or so people said, no, not in. Be really interested to see why not. So that when they say no, it always goes to a question. It says, well, why not? What's going on? Be really interesting to see that. For the most part, it's oftentimes not, there's nothing you could do. I left the industry and so, or I retired. Maybe there's a retirement option you can offer them. All right. Oh no, your membership benefits have been suspended. Now the grace period is over. Um, this help us know where you stand is asking for context. Like, what's going on here? You're done. Like, we don't want to break up with you, but you severed ties with us. What's going on? Um, Always, yes, I'm going to renew. And look at that, man. 65% of the people that get this finally answer it and super low friction. Yeah, I'm going to renew. They may not do it right now. That's okay. It gets to a point where maybe you just got to pick up the phone and call them. So if you look at these are the actions. This is behind the scenes what's happening. Yes, I'm going to renew. Send them an email. Tag them in the database. Show them text on landing page. You could add them to another nurturing campaign as well. If they are not going to renew, which one is this? Please resign my membership. I will not remove them from the campaign. So now we know we're not going to bother them anymore. They've given us an answer. We do not need to keep pinging them, but at least they told us no. They got, what's that? 28% of 127. So something like 35 or so people told them, no, we're not going to do this. All right. And I have a question. Ooh, what a great opportunity to pick up the phone and call a few people. So that's like a dozen people. No, that's like 8 people, 12 people, I don't know, in there that you got to pick up the phone and call. How cool is that, by the way, that you've used technology now, AI and automation to help you implement a more human engagement approach? Now you know who needs the human touch. Wow, are we on number four already? So that was number three. Good, because it's 12:24. Would you like to rejoin? So again, this is very similar to the last, and you can see obviously there's quite a bit of overlap in these, but this is generally what a drip campaign will look like, where just like any other email platform, it's just a drip campaign of check-ins with questions. We're looking for low friction opportunity to spark a two-way conversation where we can ask a question, capture input, and trigger an action. So in this case, would you like to rejoin blank something of these most, which of these is most important to your hobby? So that's a little context so that we can give them some value. Is there a better time to rejoin and why have you hesitated to rejoin? So we're going to get to that one next. But would you like to rejoin? This is somebody who's done. They're gone again. Yes, I would like to rejoin. 46% of the almost 4,000 people that answered this. That is crazy. By the way, this is the model aeronautics example I was working on. Um, 27% of that said, I'm not interested in rejoining. Very curious why. And this all, like I said, it almost always goes to, well, why not? Tell us more. All right. So the people that said yes, I commented on this earlier, but I wanted to show it to you. So the people that said yes, we want to check in with them later. If they didn't renew, if they did renew, great. We're going to remove them from the campaign and we won't bother them again. But if they said, yes, I'm planning to renew, like 46%, what's that? Almost 2,000, no, 1,500 or so said, yes, I want to renew. Of the 1,500, the ones that did not renew, and I'm not sure, I can't do the math here. There's probably people in this campaign from other questions that said they were going to join and didn't. But basically, we're going to go back to them and say, hey, we reached out a couple times. This is a better time to renew. And again, every time you do this, excuse me, you're going to get a few more people to do it. You're going to need a few more people that are declining now. See, this is interesting that of the people that said yes at one point, 23% of them now say no, I'm out. So now the question is why? What's going on? Looks like for the vast majority of people, price is variable. All right, my age or health. Interesting. All right. Um, by the way, I joined AARP when I turned 50, and um, I almost immediately called them up to cancel my membership because they kept sending me all this old people stuff, and I don't think I'm an old person yet. So I would have answered, why? Because my age or health, like I do not feel old yet. Anyway, a little anecdote for you. Here's another example of this is Air Force, Air and Space Force Association, otherwise known as AFA. They added space to their name. How can I help? What a great question. How can I help? Because now you're trying to presuppose, is that a word? Presuppose. You're trying to presuppose why they're not renewing, why they haven't renewed yet. And what I love about this is uh, how the variance of answers here. The very first, the biggest one is just send me an invoice, which is great. But the rest of them might require some talking. All right, 12:28. We're doing pretty well on time. Um, are you planning to reinstate? So this is the very last one. Again, very, very, very similar to a lot of these, but different ways of phrasing the questions. I love the fact that they're doing what AFA is doing, which is, can we assist you? What can we do to assist? You can also do that for conference registrations as well. How can we help you? Are you planning to join us for this event? How can we help? Um, what is holding your company back from renewing? Great, getting all this content. So again, all five of these are very, very similar. They're just slightly different questions to get slightly different responses from people. The important thing here is to consider nurturing after nurturing your the people based on how they what answers they've given you. If they said yes, continue to nurture them. If they say no, we want a little more information, then maybe we can win them back. This is one of my favorite stories. Is anyone here from PA Med? I'm going to keep an eye in the chat because I just love this story, and I've told Lauren over there a million times how I use this example all the time, and she's very, very uh, willing to let me tell this story. Basically, it's a story of skepticism. When we showed them what we're doing, they heard it, they heard the words, but I don't think they believed it, and they were really frustrated because they had something like, well, 6,318 expired members that they had collected over the years. I think this is like 5 years of expired members, something like that. And they kept sending out these emails through something like Constant Contact or one of those platforms. And they got zero responses. In fact, the night before they tried their first question with us, they sent an email out and they got almost, no, let me rephrase that. They got zero responses from it. Um, in fact, Lauren even reached out before this went out, the day before this went out. She's like, man, we just created this campaign. It's a lot more work than doing one in Constant Contact. Now, of course, my response was, well, you can use the blueprints, but also it's the first time you've ever done a campaign. So, like, give it a little time. Anyway, they sent this out. She was blown away by the response. Like, look at this compared to zero. So, this is after many, many broadcast emails. And then they send this really simple thing out, just trying to get a little context. And they got just absolutely phenomenal response. This pays for Prop Fuel for the next decade. Just this one, their initial question. All right. We have a live demo for those of you that are not currently using Prop Fuel. We have a live demo going on in 29 minutes. If you would like to participate in that, point your phone there. Or do we have a link that people can click on, Brittany, that we can put in there? And then if you'd like and again, this is for the prospects in the room. If you'd like to just schedule a call with our team, you can't make it today at 1 Eastern, then we'd love to show you Prop Fuel. So that's the sales, Dave. If you are a client, please reach out. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I really, really love hearing from you guys. If you want to get something done, probably don't reach out to me. Reach out to your client success manager. They're going to be able to help you. All right. There's the Deminar. We call it a demo webinar, Deminar. There's the link for that one at 1 o'clock today. If you want to book a demo, just there it is, book a demo link. You can just go to our website too and book a demo there. Any questions or commentary? I have not been reading the chat. I'm going to read the chat right now though, when you guys all leave. You're welcome. I hope this was helpful. Not too much of a sales pitch. I hope you got a couple good ideas out of it. I really enjoy talking through these things with you guys, especially because you guys are so enthusiastic about it. So thank you for joining me. That concludes our our knowledge nibble for the day. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day.